Hello, Steve Townsend from Townsend Handcrafted Whips. I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can use to tie a popper on the end of your fall. Oftentimes, more often than I'd like, I guess, poppers just come off. Sometimes they'll wear through the end of your fall and the fall will break off and eventually your fall will have to be replaced. But real quick, a couple different ways you can do this. Obviously, the only thing you're going to really need maybe a pair of scissors. No other tools really going to be needed other than your fall and your popper. But your popper should have an eye, almost like a fall, just a little loop on the end of it. And what you're going to do is just kind of open that up a little bit. And I'm going to feed the fall through that eye and then maybe let that grab up again. Now, there's two ways that I can, show you real quick to tie on a fall. The first way is really easy. The second way I think is a little bit more functional. But the easiest way to do it, once you've got it tied on here, is just bring the fall, or the popper here, underneath the fall, but behind this loop, not in front of it. You have to be behind it up here towards the whip. So bring that around like that, underneath, and then just bring it back over and through that little loop you just made, and tighten that up, and that'll tighten itself up, just like that. And then you can, what I do is just put it between a couple of fingers like this and just pull straight out. Now, like I said, this is the easiest way to tie on a fall. That's going to stay on pretty good. You might want to kind of bunch these up a little bit more, push them together right there and pull that tight again. And then cracking the whip will set that into place really well. But you want to make sure you pull it as tight as you can with your hands, because if you don't do that and you go out and crack it, your popper's just liable to immediately fly off. But the good part about that is you get to try again. So the disadvantages, obviously the advantage of this is being able to tie it really quick, really fast. It's very simple, not complicated at all. But your popper doesn't come straight off of the fall. It's kind of coming out at this odd angle. Now, is that really going to make a huge difference when the whip is moving so fast that it breaks the sound barrier? Maybe not, I don't know. And the only other thing, I guess, would be that obviously, if this is the way you do decide to tie the fall, the popper onto your fall, all you got to do at this point is just to take a quick snip of leave a little bit extra, because this may slide just a touch, but just cut that little bit of fall right off of there, and then you'll be ready to crack your whip. But you can see now that still I've got this situation where the fall wants to go this way and the popper wants to kind of come off of this way. Not a big deal. It'll still crack, it'll work, it'll hold on, it's going to work fine, no big deal. But another way you can tie this on will eliminate that problem. I'll just pull it off, undo that. Now again, this method is real similar. I'm just going to find the eye of that popper, open it up, feed it onto here. Now what we're going to kind of do, this is almost like tying a knot with the fall itself. I'm just going to bring everything over like this. You don't have to make it quite this big. Or if I go over like that, then all I got to do is bring this under and out, and I'm going to tie this little knot. Or it's the same thing. You can do it two different ways. You could bring the fall hitch and everything under itself, and then the popper over that loop. But at any rate, you want the popper to go over and this to go under, or vice versa, the popper to go under and this to go over. And then all you got to do is kind of guide things into place until you can get this pulled nice and tight into this neat little knot like that. Pull it super tight, as tight as you can. Get that into place. And now, as you can see, again, we'll take our scissors here, cut off just a tiny little excess of the fall there. And now what this gives you is a popper that's coming right out of the end of the fall. It's perfect. It lines straight up. So this, by a lot of people is considered to be a bit more accurate than the other method that we saw, because as far as targeting goes, this popper obviously is coming straight off of the end of this. Another thing this does is this knot right here, you can kind of feel it when you're throwing your whip. It adds just a tiny little bit of weight, which may help you to be a bit more accurate as well, because now you can, you've got that little bit of weight that you can feel on the end of the whip, and that's going to help to guide this popper right where you want it to go if you're doing any kind fine targeting work. And so there's that little nifty way of tying on a popper. And this is the method that I prefer. It's a little bit, you know, there's no way at all that this could pull out of here. You're not going to pull this off. You're going to have to loosen things up to get this popper off. The other method, your popper could fly off of the whip. The only thing that's going to happen here is over time, this will start to pull so tight on this fall that will create a ring around that fall that'll eventually break or cut off, and then obviously the thing can come untied, but that's going to take some real doing. But there you have it, 2 different methods that you can use to quickly tie on a popper to the end of your fall, and you are ready for action. So give those a shot, see what you think, and get cracking. Thanks for checking it out, and we'll see you next time.